It seems like all the good people I really want to hire, it seems to take me a year to hire them. And it's always been that way, even at Apple. Some of the best technical people or whoever, it always seemed to take me like a year to pry them out of HP or wherever.
So how do you find that mix? How do you find that balance of planning and doing so that you build a successful company? If you're the perfectionist, I'm going to give you 3 tips that will help you.
There's this saying like A players hire A players and B players hire C players, which is like good people hire good people. Yeah. And I don't think that that's that informative.
Rise and shine, it's Entspresso time. What's up, Believe Nation? It's Evan. My one word is believe, and I believe in you. I believe you have Michael Jordan level talent at something, and I want you to find it, embrace it, and use it to make a difference. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message. Don't compromise. Over to you, Steve Jobs. Also, if you want to hear what Steve Jobs has to say about confidence, check out my new 254 Confidence series.
A lot of people come to me and they say, well, I want to be an entrepreneur. And I go, oh, that's great. What's your idea? And they go, well, I don't have one yet.
Every day for the next 254 days, I will send you a 30-second to 5-minute video for free every morning to help you build unstoppable confidence. The link is in the description below.
I wake up every morning. Espresso, keep me going. I wake up every morning.
It seems like all the good people I really want to hire, it seems to take me a year to hire them. And it's always been that way, even at Apple. Some of the best technical people or whoever, it always seemed to take me like a year to pry them out of HP or wherever. And it took me over a year to hire. I think Mike has the award. You're about a year and a half. And they're all worth it. What happens is I usually meet somebody that is really good, I think is very, very good, and you can't get them, and then you go try to find other people, and nobody measures up. You know, when you meet somebody that good, you always compare them to this one person, and you know you're going to be settling for second best if you compromise. And I've always found it best not to compromise. And
don't compromise is an amazing message, but too many of you who are perfectionists will hear that message and use it as an excuse for not taking action. I'm a firm believer that planners need to do more and doers need to plan more. And here's the problem. Planners do not need to plan more. You're already great at planning. You will plan your life away and never actually take any kind of action. And so for the perfectionists out there, for the planners who want to have the perfect plan before you do anything, this is an amazing message, but you're not hearing it correctly. It's not don't compromise on having the perfect plan and just sit in your room all day and don't take any action, because Steve Jobs was a doer. This is a hard lesson that I had to learn myself because I lost a $40 million deal in my first business when I was 21, 22, because I was a perfectionist, because everything had to be perfect, because I didn't want to compromise. That's how I interpreted the message, but as a result, I didn't do anything and just kept planning. And I lost the deal. It became between us and our biggest competitor. And we were really late to the party because we didn't do the right thing, and we ended up losing the deal. Now, would we have won it if I had done more? Maybe not 100%, but I would have had a better shot at it. And so ever since then, I've been trying to release that perfectionist habit. It's still in there. I still love the plan, but the people who have the most success have that combination of planning, but then actually doing. So how do you find that mix? How do you find that balance of planning and doing so that you build a successful company? If you're the perfectionist, I'm going to give you 3 tips that will help you. 1, do every day. You have to do something every day. You got to do something to build momentum every single day in your business. Planning doesn't count. Planning, strategizing, making ideas, that doesn't count. Where you're going to grow doesn't count. You got to do. You got to send an email. You got to make a piece of content. You got to post something. You got to follow up with somebody. You have to create. You got to make. Instead of just living in your head, right? That's how you tell the difference. Planning is just living in your head. Models, structured, business plans, ideas. It's amazing. I love it. I could be there all day long. But you won't have any kind of impact just staying up in here. Do every single day. Adopt the mindset that you need to do on a daily basis. Number 2, schedule your do time. What I want you to do is plan for 1 hour every single day. If you're an entrepreneur, 1 hour every day where you are doing. Pick a time. Ideally, I think morning, like if you get in at 9, then 9 to 10, first hour of the day. But if it's not, then block in your account. This is important. This is what will change your life. This is what will change the trajectory of your business. If you are stuck constantly in just responding to people and in planning perfectionist mode, do time, right? We said do it daily, point number 1. Now you got to schedule it in. Just have an intention won't do anything if you're not actually taking action on it, right? You're not doing the thing that you promised to do. You're not doing the doing. The progress that you will make The closer you get to your goals will be a reflection of what you are putting in your calendar, what you are actually doing. So I want you to schedule 1 hour today of due time every single day where you're going to be making something and pushing it out to the world. And tip number 3 is release imperfect things. Get used to releasing imperfect things. It doesn't mean that you settle for crap. That's not the message. It's not just, okay, this sucks, so we're going to release it and not care about it anymore. By releasing imperfect things, though, and then tweaking it and getting better, you are getting used to doing. You are getting used to not just holding on to your perfect concepts and perfect dreams forever. For me, an example could be to make imperfect videos, do Instagram stories. And if I make a mistake, I post it. If I make a mistake, I try to make it into something fun. When I was in Boston, I was trying to say, we're going to go see some dim sum. We're going to a dim sum restaurant. And I'd say, we're going to go to dim sum. Right? I stumbled on my words and I made it into something fun. And I released it. Like, yes, that's the best. Put that out there. Perfectionists need to get used to losing the perfectionist habit. And it won't ever go away. It's always the big fear that I don't want to become a slob. I don't want to let myself go. I don't want to release garbage out into the world. You won't. You'll never be that person. You'll never stop caring. But you just need to lose the perfectionist habit a little bit. Because you will never be perfect. The stuff you release will never be perfect. You will always look back at what you made and say it could be made better. And that's awesome. That's your greatest strength. But it's also your greatest vulnerability. It's your greatest weakness. So getting used to once a week releasing something that isn't perfect. It's the best that you could make within the time allotted. Once a week, every week, release that within your own industry. So for me, it'd be making a video. Do a Snapchat story. For me, it's daily, 3 to 5 times a day. But at least once a week. And when it sucks, when you made a mistake, when you want to delete it, when you want to say, of course I can't post that, I can't sell that, I can't put that out there, as soon as you're about to hit the delete button, boom, that's when you post it. And feel the fear and the nervousness and the craziness and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that, that sucked. And then release it. So you know what? That wasn't actually that bad. Like, what's the response? It's not actually that bad. And when you can get used to releasing imperfect products and keep your drive to make perfect products, that's when ultimately you will win, to move from planning mode into the doer mode. Now I have a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy, but before that, question of the day, I want to know what is one thing that you've been planning and planning and planning and planning, and today you are going to do. Put in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I believe in you. I hope you continue to believe in yourself and whatever your one word is. Much love. I'll see you again tomorrow morning for another shot of Entspresso, and enjoy the bonus clip.
I don't hire people who I wouldn't work for myself. I think that that's a really good heuristic because everyone knows this, like, there's this saying like A players hire A players and B players hire C players, which is like good people hire good people. Yeah. And I don't think that that's that informative, right? Because I mean, what are you going to say? Like to someone in your organization, sorry, you're a B player, you don't get to hire people. Like, I mean, no. I mean, and I think a lot of the time the problem is you don't actually know. I mean, sometimes you're like trying to figure out how good someone is. If you didn't think they were good, you wouldn't have hired them. But the heuristic of only hiring people who you would work for tends to be pretty good, I think. Because then it's like, then that you know, right? It's like, I would not work for this person, then okay, I'm not going to like stretch just because I need to fill a role today.
So here I am, an 18-year-old, young man, got into the University of Southern California. I go in for my first internship interview at the management company that manages Will Smith. I'm literally about to get my foot in the door, and at the end of the interview, the lady says, Devon, is there anything else you want us to know? And right there, God is speaking in my ear. He said, tell her about the Sabbath. Now, you must understand something. As a Christian, I grew up observing Sabbath. So Friday night sundown through Saturday night sundown, I don't work. It's the day that I take off for observance, rest, and restoration. And I'm there in the internship interview, about to get my foot in the door of Hollywood, and God says, tell her about the Sabbath. I said, Lord, after I get the internship, I'll tell her all about the Sabbath. You know how we are. We love to get what we want, and then we'll start moving the pieces around about what we can and cannot do. But after a moment of silence, I said, well, I cannot take this internship if it requires me to work on the Sabbath. And it was quiet, just like it is now. And after a moment of silence, she said, Devon, don't worry, we can work around that. What that taught me in that moment is that it's not about just the door of opportunity opening in your scene. It's about how you walk through the door. Because every door that opens that does not allow you to fit your faith in who you are, I argue it is not a door to go through. You have to understand that when you are walking in your path and you are walking in the movie of your life, the scenes in your life will conform around you if you have enough faith to be exactly who God created you to be. I don't buy into this idea that you have to compromise who you are, compromise what you believe. As a matter of fact, be even more bold in who you are, more bold in who you believe, because you are the hero of your own story. And if you don't believe your story, guess what? Ain't nobody else going to.
I'm out of college. I'm 23 years old. And Tommy Kail and I are meeting with a veteran theater producer. To pay rent, I am a professional substitute teacher at my old high school. Tommy is Audra McDonald's assistant. Tommy is directing in the Heights, and with his genius brain in my corner, my 80-minute one act is now 2 acts. This big deal theater producer has seen a reading we put on in the basement of the Drama Bookshop in Midtown Manhattan, and he is giving us his thoughts. We hang on his every word. This is a big deal theater producer, and we are kids desperate to get our show on. We are discussing the character of Nina Rosario, home from her first year at Stanford, the first in her family to go to college. The big deal theater producer says, "Now, I know in your version, Nina's coming home with a secret from her parents. She's lost her scholarship. The song is great, the actress is great. What I'm bumping up against, fellas, is that this doesn't feel high stakes enough. Scholarship, big deal. What if she's pregnant? What if her boyfriend at school hit her? What if she got caught with drugs? It doesn't have to be any of those things. You're the writer. But do you see what I'm getting at? Guys, a way to ramp up the stakes of your story?" I resist the urge to crack my shoulder. We get through the meeting, and Tommy and I, again alone, look at each other. He knows what I'm gonna say before I say it. Pregnant, I know. Nina on drugs, I was there. But he wants to put our show up. Tommy looks at me. That's not the story you want to tell, and that's not the show I want to direct. There are ways to raise the stakes that are not that. We'll just keep working. If I could get in a time machine and watch any point in my life, it would be this moment. The moment where Tommy Kail looked at uncertain, frazzled me, desperate for a production and a life in this business, tempted, and said no for us. I keep subbing, he continues working for Audra. We keep working on In the Heights for 5 years until we find the right producers in Jill Furman and Kevin McCullum and Jeffrey Seller. Until Philly native Kiara Hudis becomes my co-writer and reframes our show around a community instead of a love triangle. Until Alex Lacamoire and Bill Sherman take my songs and make them come to life through their orchestrations. It will be another 5 years before Heights reaches Broadway, exactly as we intended it.